We're having a powder party by celebrating our first powder supplier to the show. Join us in episode 19, where Jason Partain and Kyle Petree from IFS Powder come to talk with us about their new line of Open Throttle Powders. We find out how their information-first approach carries throughout the IFS brand of companies. We'll also talk about new tech products that will help bring changes in applications, the future for IFS, and the industry. It doesn't take long before they shock me with a bombshell announcement that will change the way you do business with them. Oh, that face I make. Get ready to level up your powder coater game.
Okay.
Welcome to Roscoe's Powder Coater Podcast. I'm your co-host, Kim Scott. Our weekly podcast interviews influencers and covers trending topics so powder coaters can effectively learn and grow their business. I'm happy to introduce a couple of really great guys from IFS Powder. They're here to feature, and we're just going to talk shop, talk powder, talk tech all day today. So I'm happy to introduce, first off is Jason Partain, and he is an IFS application engineer and has been working in the coatings industry for about 25 years. He genuinely enjoys helping coaters solve problems and is also into kit cars, auto refinishing, and all things powder. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you. First of all, thank you from IFS for having us on. And thank you from the powder coat side for, trying to do something positive and getting everybody involved and helping each other out. So
my pleasure. I really do enjoy doing the podcast and meeting all of you. Of course, we're far off in Hawaii, so we feel so isolated sometimes. And maybe I just need some friends. I don't know. Next up is Kyle Petree. Did I say that right, Kyle?
Petry.
Petry,
yeah,
sorry.
That's the other, everybody says it wrong. It's okay.
It's the British way to say it. I don't know.
There you go.
And you're actually a business process architect, which, woohoo, I'm going to find out what that means. And you're a self-confessed gearhead or gas head. And you love all things automotive, race cars, and take pride in your rides. So maybe we can get in there and talk about some rides that you have. And that's one of the reasons why you're here today, because we're going to talk about a new line called Open Throttle. And that's what I want to get to know you about, as well as some other things. So Kyle, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's funny. So business process architect, what my job is I do a lot of the I'm more from an IT side of things, where I handle all of our manufacturing systems, our order entry systems, everything that from when you place an order to when we ship the order is all run through the system I manage. And so one of my big things is building out a customer experience. So whether the customer is the person buying the powder or the person who works in our company, that they have a really good experience with our systems. So it's beneficial to the customer as well.
That actually sounds like a fun job. I'm kind of jealous, actually. I'd probably like that job.
It is a lot of fun.
Unfortunately, he has to deal with people like me that make it not so fun.
Well, I mean, how you handle, oops, sorry. I got to put my phone on D&D. Hold on just a minute, okay?
All right.
That'll be one thing we cut out. Maui Powder Works. I have been getting, I always forget to put the D&D on.
Or your car warranty?
Yeah.
No, it's just like a blank, it's like a blank thing, it's like nobody's there. Like they're just testing the line, probably to scam me,
Probably.
Oh, gosh. I don't know how many people get that all day long, but okay. So where did we leave off?
I talked about myself, and then you said, and then the phone rang. So
okay. So let's get into open throttle. Oh no, well, let me get back to you, Jason, because actually we didn't kind of talk about what exactly it is that you do. So what is an application engineer? Can you?
So it's my job. It's kind of a wide range of stuff, but not only to be a technical service person for a customer, but I spend a lot of my time making their process run better, making our product run better in their process, finding ways to make it more efficient, more cost effective, things of that nature. So, an application engineer is not just, call them when something's wrong, come in and tell me how to fix it. A lot of our stuff is I'll spend a day like today. I spent half the day with a new customer, first time they'd ever pulled the trigger on a powder gun. And we were side by side for 4 hours with, all suited up and him learning how to spray and me telling him what he needed to do the whole time. So
that's crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a wide variety, and every day's a little different. Every customer's a little different. We already know every product's a little different. So it stays interesting, that's for sure.
I like jobs like that just change up every day. And I think that's why I like powder coating, because you get a new job or an antique or somebody's special item or their car they want to customize to make their own personal, make their look and feel or their brand, right? Yep. It's nice to be able to deliver that to people, So let's talk about that open throttle, because that is kind of why we're here. So you guys sent me the samples. I have them right here. I love the fact that you guys have these already on a ring for your showroom. I just love it. In fact, I should have brought over the Polychem ones.
Starting to say, a lot of people don't know that Polychem does a wide range of these groups, and they got them already ready to go, ready to ship out for you to see. So
yeah, it makes it nice. You don't charge for samples, do you?
Not normally,
No,
if you're a customer of ours, you're definitely not going to be charged. If somebody just kept on calling at some point, you never know. But
yeah. Well, there are some companies out there that do charge for samples, and I was just so amazed when I got my architectural ones. And of course, I know you guys through that. Right. We don't order as much as I would like to, and I don't know why that is, because I'm always pushing it, and I think of the times that I have, and this is what I like about it, is your texture line is incredible. Like, you have such a wide range. And I know the one time we ordered, a lot of times people have these custom, luxury homes here in Maui, and they had a tile that they needed us to match, because, they have those outlet covers that go into the floor. The brass ones, and we usually coat those for people to have that kind of seamless, so you're not seeing brass in the middle of like all white tile or something like that. And we picked one perfectly for that and stuff. So it was nice to kind of match it up to that textured tile. And that's what I liked about your coatings. There are just so many of them. I should probably bring the ring over so people can see, but you actually sent over this huge brochure. I love this brochure. You guys get this.
That's our Polychem brochure, and the nice thing about that one is it's actual painted chips. That's not a ink printed chips in there. It's actual painted chips, in that magazine. So,
and I'll tell you why I like it. Here's why I like it. This is the first brochure, and I have a lot of them. I've got Cardinal, I've got Tiger, I've got Axel Noble, I've got TCI, I've got them all over there. But this is the first one that I saw that has, it's like you group them all together on one page or in one brochure. It's like a brand preview, I know you have more than this, but
and just by looking at that, the rings we're talking about are those exact same colors. So those collections in that Polychem book, you can get a ring of every one of those collections.
Yes. So if you do call, or if you reach out to Polychem, make sure you get this brochure. It's just such a nice one to show people and stuff. So okay, so let's break this down, because I feel like we're going a little too far ahead. But so there's IFS and then there's Polychem. Is that similar to how you sub-brand within a brand?
No, there's a little difference in them. So IFS is where we truly manufacture all our powders. And it's, you hate to say it's general industry, because it's not. It's all different groups, but it is where we make every chemistry, every product, every type of customer. Polychem, we don't manufacture powder in Polychem. We take the powders that we already have and adjust them accordingly to make custom products in small volume. Instead of having to buy a 55-pound custom, I think you and I talked about this the other day, you can order a 5-pound custom from Polychem. And most people don't realize that Polychem, if it's not a really difficult color, will match a 5-pound custom on their division. So one of them is truly a manufacturing facility. The other is more of a custom side of the business.
Okay. Well, hold on, guys. I just lost my video feed, so I'm going to continue to work on this. But as always in a podcast, you never know what's going to happen. But let me share my screen so that we can talk about Open Throttle, and I'll just pull up the website.
Okay.
In fact, let me just, here, we'll just, right, here it is. And let me try to fix I don't know what I did with my camera. So hold on, let me just plug it in and.
Yeah, it's just got a picture of your cover. There you are.
Hey,
there I am. It's like you just hit one little, I had my leg wrapped around the cord, so I was just trying to move it out, and of course it just all went to shit. So, anyways, okay, so continuing on. So here's Open Throttle,
right?
And we have. Tell us more about how this line came to be. Why did you choose the colors in here? And I don't know, Kyle, do you feel comfortable talking about this, or do we want to continue with Jason?
Well, we can have Jason talk a little bit, and then I have some other stuff we can talk about regards to Open Throttle, maybe once he kind of gives the backstory.
Okay. Sure.
So really what Open Throttle is Polychem is a division where we make something and ship in 5 to 7 days out of what we already have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we found that because of that, some people want to order and have it shipped that day. And in the custom world, that's kind of what the expectation is. So our first goal at this is to take our most popular colors that we tend to sell to the smaller custom shops and to begin to stock those. So if you call me today and say I need 5 pounds of Auto Black or the red transparent, that we can literally have it stocked, loaded up, shipped, going out this evening. So in the past, that's not always been the case. So
yeah,
it's kind of a way for us to meet some of those needs of wanting a good custom color, but wanting to order it from a stock position and not waiting for it to be made. And these are the colors that were most common. And who's to know, there might be some more added to that as this grows a little bit. And we see other colors that are common that people are wanting. But this is, I think it's 32 is where we started, about 32 colors. And, you can order 5 pounds to how much ever, in any of these.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the brochure here, and I mean, you've got a lot of blacks and silvers and grays, which I think are important because they tend to, but I mean, you've got the pop of color too, because you've got, the neon stuff too that everybody likes.
We've got the neons in there. We've got a good group of translucents in there.
Mm-hmm.
One thing a lot of people don't know is our silvers and our metallics, we do all that bonding in-house. We don't ship that out to somebody else and wait for it to come back. So we're pretty proud of our metallics department. They do a good job, and that I think that's one thing that sets us apart from some other people.
Yeah, even that, you kind of got a bronze in there too. Those are so hard to, like there's a lot of bronzes. I just love bronze rims.
Well, I love the architectural bronzes. We got 2 or 3 of those that are super colors,
Yeah.
that lay down really nice,
Yeah. So, okay, let me stop sharing my screen, and I'll share with you the brochure that you can get. And these are, obviously these are just a grouping of powders that they have put together to kind of make it easier to choose or regularly choose from this catalog so that you can get it the same day or shipped out the same day and stuff in smaller quantities. So I like that you guys are realizing that custom coaters, small guys need smaller quantities. They're not the bigger companies that do massive architectural projects and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we're, we want to do both ends of that spectrum. We want to have the small customer. We want to be their go-to person. We want to have the big customer and be their go-to person. I've said it before, that's a tough job to do, and you got to change a few things along the way and learn some new ways to do things. But, I think we don't want to be thought of as, well, I can't get stuff from them, they're too big for me, or I can't get the right amount. So, this is our first bigger effort into going down that road, and I think you'll continue to see that grow. So
yeah, and Kyle, that's kind of what you do, right?
Yeah, well, I was going to say that we've even over the last few months restructured our sales group, where we even have a area where they are strictly focused on smaller companies. So we have people out there so that we can cover the whole spectrum. And you had our website up there for a minute. We are in the middle of a project right now where we're completely replacing and upgrading our manufacturing system and order entry system and everything, where we're going to actually have an e-commerce store. So, companies like you're kind of the people watching this podcast that are job shops and guys that are out working on their jobs all day may not come back to actually order the powder for the next job until 6, 7, 8 o'clock or whatever, especially if you're out there in Hawaii where you are, it's already way late and, there's, everybody's gone home for the day and, oh shoot, I needed to order this for this product, so we're going to have that e-commerce site. We're shooting for the end of summer, fall next year. We're going to have that up and running. And that's going to cover all of our brands. So we're going to have IFS, Polychem, and Open Throttle. We'll all have an e-commerce store.
This is big news.
Yeah.
Where's the confetti and stuff? Like I feel like going, woo, like
I'll shoot someone when it goes live, but until then,
we'll add in some sound bites and stuff later. I mean, seriously, this is you're blowing me away because I was just going to come to you and bitch about it. I mean, why can't a company like as big as you guys have this, and right. I think it's awesome that you guys are taking that step. And I know that building an e-commerce site is a huge undertaking. I mean, it is.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. And on top of, us trying to upgrade our whole manufacturing process throughout this and then bolt that on top of it. And it's been a lot of work for myself and my team. But we know that once we do it, our support to our customers is going to be a whole nother level.
It is.
So we're super excited about that. So
yeah, that's huge news, and I'm happy to hear it because, your website, I do have issues with it still, but I mean, like for the most part, that's really good news about the e-commerce and adding to it, because I think that you're right. If you're going to appeal to smaller and have, there's no reason why you can't be making money when you're not open these days. I mean, this is pretty much what's brought to the whole, shutdown pandemic thing, is just evolving your company to make sure that it can run 24/7. Of course, supply chain issues are a whole nother thing, but hopefully you're not having too much of being impacted by that right now as much as others. But, when you have that broader scale, where you're appealing to the smaller guy and the super big guy, you should be able to do both.
Yeah, and you mentioned the supply chain. I've had a lot of conversations with our procurement team where, I said, are we going to have supply issues? Do I need to go and build something into our system in regards to that? And they said, no, because we have those big customers, we're able to negotiate with our purchase power to have that stuff in stock. And then not only can we supply them, we can supply the smaller companies as well. And we can cover everything. And our supply issues have been really non-existent. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of hard work on our team back at Gainesville to make sure we haven't had issues, especially this year during COVID. So
yeah. Especially that TGIC, might be harder and harder to get. So, okay, so let's move on to the videos, because that's where I started paying attention more to IFS. I'm not a powder coater. Pretty much the listeners know that by now, but I do have extensive industry knowledge. I do have extensive restoration knowledge and painting knowledge. But I was getting these in my email, and every now and then I'd click on them and they're just super. But then when I went to go about a month or two later, I'm like, what am I doing on a Saturday? I'll go check this out. I'm just chilling on my iPad. And I'm like, where are those freaking videos? I can't find them on your site. And you guys have, to your credit, and I'll share my screen here on the homepage, but to your credit, you do have a lot of information on your site. But that's also a problem too.
Yeah. And I know a couple of times I've had to call and ask how to get to them so I can find them. But with that said, we spent a lot of time. It's probably been, that's been a 2 to 3 year process. I can remember sitting in the car on a conference call for an hour or two at a time with other tech service guys and Fiona, our marketing specialists, and others to take notes, and we pick a topic. Maybe it's metallics today, or maybe it's application issues, and we talk about it for an hour and take all the notes on the goods and the bads and all that. And we've made webinars out of those. Dave has done a whole series of small, short videos, whether it be application or testing methods, and just a pretty wide range of stuff.
Yeah, so you could actually use it to train your employees. I mean, it's that good. Yeah. You could have it as your own in-house. You don't need to make the videos for your own brand or your own company. Just go to IFS and send them there. But I literally had to save that link in my Trello board just so I could refer back to it later in case we were training somebody, because I couldn't find it again. It took me hours to find it again. So I'm happy, I personally had to save it in my favorites, but, and they are good.
There's some super good information in there, because I've been to 25 years. Dave's probably been doing it for 70 or 80. He's an old guy, and he's going to laugh when he hears this one. But Alex has done it, 25 or 30 years, and literally us three and a few other people talking on the phone and just throwing out all those things. And it's amazing what all comes out of that sometimes. So
yeah, that guy has a way of of the videos that I've seen, he has a way of just breaking it down to the least common denominators so that your grandma will know how to powder coat by the time you're done watching these videos.
And some people that are experienced might think that's a little too much, but for somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, you got to do it that way. You have to go that route. So,
whether you're a new coder just starting out with your new company, where you're just in your garage, whatever, or you're hiring a new employee and it's day one and you like looking at each other with blank faces, just put them in a room and just let them absorb all this information. A lot of people today are just visual learners, and it's somehow between the two of application and visual learning, and I think it's because a lot of custom coders have an artistic, they work from that side of the brain, maybe.
Yes, they do.
From the right side. And so it's easy for them to see. I mean, we just did a podcast last week where we were sharing coder to coder. We were just sharing a video of how we do hot flocking and stuff. And so he just had questions left over from a podcast that we'd done when we first started about it. Mm-hmm. And it was before we did video and stuff. So it's just our voices. And he had so many questions because he wanted to visually see what we were talking about. And a lot of people need that today.
Yeah. And, something interesting is that, before I came, I've been with IFS now for about 2.5 years. But before I came here, I worked for a metal fabricating company, and they had 2 powder coating lines. But I didn't know anything about how to do with this or the things you look for in powder. So I would be in meetings after I came to IFS and I'm going, oh my God, what are they talking about? I don't know what any of this is. And so, I watched some of these videos and now it's like, oh, that's what they're talking about. Oh, okay. So it helps me working there when I'm building our systems out. I know, oh, hey, this kind of fits what they're talking about. They might like this. So
yeah, that's how I am at the PCI meetings. I'm like, oh yeah, really? Oh wow. I just kind of keep my mouth shut and try to listen in on, because these people are just so laser focused on, that when they're in these groups and stuff, they're very laser focused in their jobs and they know a lot of technical information, where I'm kind of just an all around gal, so I hear what you're saying, when you're in that realm, so to speak. And you guys do that too. You're focused on just what you're doing, and helping coders get through their problem solving. I mean, that's pretty much what you're doing, Jason, right? It's just technical problem solving.
Yeah. And like I said, a lot of technical stuff. Hopefully it's for improvements and not fixing an issue or something. But hey, issues happen. Issues happen on our behalf, on the customer's behalf. So, we spend the 3 of us spend a lot of time on the road and in customers, and something I don't think a lot of people realize. So I might be in $1 million customer today. I might be in a customer that spends $500 tomorrow. It's that simple. If I'm already there and we get a call that says, hey, I'm having such and such, it's nothing for us to stop in and help that person too. So I think a few of them are like, wow, I've never had anybody stop here before. Well, it's not something I can do every week, but if I'm there and able, why not do it? So.
Yeah. And I think, we kind of talked about this a couple of days ago. We were just kind of, hi, and we did want to talk about this because there's a difference between what you're, like the typical model is the sales guy who wants that next powder order from, XYZ company, but they don't necessarily know much about powder coating in terms of from an applicator's point of view. And that seems like there was an earlier podcast where we talked about that. I think the one with Ashton, where he was just saying, I just kind of stood around and really didn't do anything for me. I needed answers to how to powder coat or how to solve this problem.
And for me, I can't speak for all the other guys, but for me, I've got 10 years of on the floor experience in a manufacturing facility, a very large one, buying $8 to $10 million worth of powder, liquid, and pre-treat. I live that every day. I know what I expected when somebody come into my facility for service. So my expectation, I try to meet my expectations when I go into somebody's facility. And usually they really appreciate that because it's not a sales call. It's a help me do what I need to do type situation.
And I think coaters, I think they do know that there are these really big industrial powder coaters out there that need this help, right? Where they got $1 million jobs on the line. But, Kyle, I mean, that's kind of where you come in, right? You're there to make them feel important and special and stuff like that. Because I think that that's kind of like part of the mystique behind IFS, and what makes you sort of different is this customer service level where other corporations that might sell more than you just don't get or don't have. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, so that's been one thing I've noticed right off the bat when I joined IFS was that we are so laser focused on the customer experience, and that's how I look at doing my own job. Is you always start with the customer experience. What is the customer gonna get out of this? Are they going to be happy? And then we work back from there. And so it's whatever we need to do to make sure that the customer gets what they want. So, like I said, from my perspective, launching in this e-commerce store, we, reoccurring emails throughout their order process, making sure they know where things are at, what's happening, making sure that, we have guys like, Jason that help you out no matter how big you are. We wanted to really be focused on that, because you talk to some of these bigger guys, it's like, if you're not buying a ton from us, or you're not, or you're, they don't necessarily, may not care, or, someone like Jason, like where he goes and helps somebody, but he's not a salesman. He's not going to go in there and try to, hey, I helped you with this problem here. Now I'm going to shove a whole bunch of powder at you. You got to buy it because I'm here. Jason's not selling anything. He's going to help you out no matter what, because we know, you might help out a guy that's going to buy, it's only bought a couple boxes from us, but he's going to go talk to his friend and say, hey, you know what? IFS came in here. I only bought 3 boxes from them, but this guy came down here and he helped me out, and he talks to somebody and they talk to somebody and they talk to somebody. And there you go. We know that stuff kind of happens. So, we really want to make them happy.
And I like that, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jason.
Well, I was just going to say, I would get in trouble if I didn't make this statement, because our owner says it all the time. And our mission statement is to deliver unparalleled service and products to the industry. I mean, that is the first statement that you should know out of IFS. So all that comes back to that,
It does, and it shows in what you're saying with us today, and the big news about e-commerce and stuff. And I think that a custom coater can definitely get behind that. And the reason for that is because they too get word of mouth business. Many of them will, because they've done such an exceptional job on restoring a project for someone. Could be friends, could be family, it doesn't matter, could just be just someone walking into their shop. But that's how we grow as custom coaters. We've always grown that way. And we don't have the big budgets for marketing or, doing all the things that bigger companies get to do. Kind of just a one-man band happening all the time. And so I think it's great because it's something philosophy-wise that, first of all, it's just the philosophy behind it in the first place between how we go about operating our businesses. And you're just saying that from even as big as you guys are, you're still carrying on that same value system. Well, great. That's perfect. Nothing more to say. I left everybody speechless with that one.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about some of your other products, because we did mention you have some other stuff that I can't remember the name of it is now. Go ahead.
So Kyle, you want to go or me?
Well, I guess it depends on which one we want to start with.
And if you want to share your screen too, go right ahead.
Kyle, if you have something to share, that's fine. I don't have anything up with me right now, but we've made two big pushes over the last, we've made more than two, but probably the two most well-known are last year we got in the thermoplastic business and have been manufacturing and selling and starting to grow that side of the business. And then this year we have jumped off into the low cure wood or non-metal substrate coatings.
Right. And so what's the purple plas?
Puroplast. Puroplast is the thermoplast,
okay.
Product line.
Okay.
And just like your regular powder coatings, there's several different chemistries there to go across a wide range of uses. But I've done several trials here lately. Most people always talk about that as being a dip process. We have a very good version that sprays. You can get 7 to 10 mils easily with the same equipment you're using for regular thermal sets.
Interesting.
Obviously, you don't have the cure issues with it because it doesn't cross-link like a thermal set will. So it's a matter of just getting it to flow out and become smooth, and then you're done and ready to go. So it's something I was never around that much or felt like I needed to use or have. After being around it some, it really does have some good uses out there.
So I'm going to share the YouTube video if I can, because
I've got it pulled up here too. If you want,
Yeah,
I can show that for you.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Getting ready, I was going to show that.
Thank you. I saw this today from Chris Redding, and so this is actual wood, and you guys have put on a coating, a powder coating.
Yep.
Right over the wood, and it looks like you're using different kinds of wood too.
So several of those are actual hardwoods, yes.
Hardwoods, yeah. And are there any MDFs in there as well? Yeah,
I think the piece in the middle is going to be an MDF, that square, and the white one in the middle on the bottom's probably an MDF type board. But those wood colored boards, I believe, are all hardwood with a clear powder.
With just a clear coat over it. That's really cool.
Or a tinted clear or something of that nature,
Yeah, it looks tinted. It could be,
Mm-hmm.
almost like a translucent kind of,
like a translucent.
That's cool.
And when I first heard about this, I was like, you can powder coat wood? Like, I had no idea it was even something you could do. And I said, well, tell me, why would you do that? And they go, well, think about cabinets in your kitchen. You're going to knock things on them. You're going to spill stuff on them. You can do whatever you want, paint, coat them with this, and they're more durable. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have ever even thought about that.
It's true. And but this one looks kind of shimmery here. That one there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Is that like a metallic or?
So I'm going to guess it's not a metallic, but we do make a texture. So it might just be a texture.
Oh, it could be just in the sunlight there. Yeah. But these colors are really nice. And I just, Kyle, you're right. I just don't know why when someone says you can powder coat over wood and the answer is yes, and then somehow the conversation just kind of ends there. It doesn't really continue on into like, well, how about, and I don't know, I guess it's just not fully developed enough or what it is that.
Well, I guess it's, people have probably spent forever, thinking, oh, if I'm going to do wood, it's going to be a liquid paint or, whatever. And I just never really thought about that until I asked that question, and they go, oh, well, you can do all these extra things with powder, and then you can, and I'm like, oh, it kind of does work that way. Okay. And
yeah, this is, it's kind of a game changer in a sense. I mean, in terms of getting rid of liquid coatings, or not getting rid of them completely. I don't know if we'll ever be able to do that, but at least being able to compete a little bit more strongly against solvent type paints, and that can get you that same toughness and durability, you know?
A lot of people don't realize the process for those cabinet doors in a liquid process. It's not an easy spray it one time and walk away from it and go on. It's hard work and a lot of work and costly. So, you know, hopefully we'll get some steam here and get a lot deeper into that business.
Yeah, I was looking to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see, I would really, you know, of course I'm refinisher. So like we used to refinish furniture back in the day. So, I mean, I'm kind of partial to wood just because I spent so much time working on it all these years, and rattan and stuff like that. But, you know, we did, you know, of the times that we did do cabinets, and we would redo cabinets and repaint cabinets about 2 or 3 times a year for, you know, and that's it. It's all over the place. Like it's all over tables, and you've got some over here curing and over there, and then you've got to flip both sides, and, you know, like it's quite a process. You know, and so, yeah, what you're seeing isn't really what, how you achieve it, right? You know, just pop it. Yeah, so it'd be nice to really see how far this goes, and if it can really change a lot of minds, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's see what else is. What do you guys see? I mean, we just kind of talked about what's changing in the industry. I mean, this literally is a game changer in terms. But what else do you see? Trends changing in the industry at all? I mean, maybe Jason, you're out on the street talking to the coder, everyday coder.
Well, and you know, one of the things we've kind of hit on the edges is, you know, I grew up as a process engineer in a large coating facility, and that was my job, and most large companies had that. As we go farther along, there's not companies that have process engineers anymore. They have a manager, and they have a sprayer, and they have somebody running pre-treat, whatever those jobs are. So, and then on top of that, what's happened this year with COVID is we've had to step back and figure out how we're going to help customers without being in their shop, which can be a chore. So, yeah. You know, we've took a big swing at a few things and trying to be accessible and things of that nature. We started a tech service hotline that anybody can call. You don't.
Oh, right.
You know, when you call it, we don't answer, hey, do you buy powder from us? You know, this is Jason from IFS. How can I help you? So we get calls from somebody wanting to order 5 pounds of powder to we've had the president of companies, $1 million companies, ask us questions about how he could help his operation. So it's something we started earlier this year, and it rings directly to Dave Merritt, myself, or Alex Arkey, you know, the 3 tech guys that are part of IFS. So you go directly to one of us if you call that number.
Yeah, and I'm going to put that up on the screen. So I found it on I think this is your homepage. It just says ifscoatings.com, but this is the number, right? Is what you're talking about.
That's it.
This is it. And then it's also right here as well. There's tech service hotline. I think that's brilliant. You guys really did a number on this. I mean, it's still a million pages to go through on your website, but to be honest with you, I mean, you put the most vital stuff: training, webinars, tech service hotline. I mean, here's your RAL line. I mean, you've got all this other stuff, but you seriously don't even need to go past these 3 pictures right here on your website, because it's all right here. This is what you need. Your essentials right here from IFS.
But I think that's going to be a challenge moving forward, is how do we deal with all customers? because some of them just don't want you in their building right now, and it might stay that way for a while. So how can we still be helpful, still service people the way they need to be serviced, and it's going to be a challenge for a while, I think. So.
Yeah, because you know what? It's kind of funny because, you've got the two different kinds of customers, the small custom coder like us, and then these big companies, and they don't want you in their buildings because it's so much trouble and liability and stuff. And then there's these guys that just need access to information. So you're actually really solving two problems with this updated homepage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of funny how this tech service number came to be about. Was we had actually I had to transition us to a whole different phone system because we were sending people home. We had everybody working from home, and our phone system couldn't handle that at the time. So I set one up. It's actually the computer I'm using right now is running our phone system for right now.
Wow.
But it's really cool because I had that all set up. So it was between some of our salespeople and Fiona, our marketing director. They were like, "Hey, we want to set up this phone number that's going to ring right to our tech service team." And I said, And I went in. It took me about 30 minutes. I had it all set up, and I'd send instructions to Jason and the other members of our tech service team. I said, "Hey, install this app on your phone. And in about 30 minutes, if anybody calls this number, your phone's going to ring." And so it took me about a couple hours, and I had this number all set up, and it's awesome. So it's just an app on all of our tech service team, like Jason was saying, on their phones. So you call that, and you're bugging all of them.
Kyle doesn't see that I get to see is it rings to Dave first. If he doesn't answer, it rings to me. If I don't answer, it rings to Alex. So something I'm proud of is if Dave doesn't answer it and it gets by him because he's in the middle of something and can't get to it, Dave will call me and say, "Hey, did you take that call?" And I'll do the same thing because we get the number. The number shows up in the thing. So it's what we do. If that thing rings, if we don't answer it, we'll call you back. We might have to figure out who called and why they called, but there's a number there.
I'd rather get 3 calls to make sure that my question got answered. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, talk about being there for me. That's the ultimate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you get off the phone with somebody and you're like, "Oh, damn, I forgot to ask that question," or, or there could be, if you do end up calling somebody twice, well, then they got even more questions to answer after that,
And I know out of several of those, so that's a line that rings to that. I know after several of those conversations, that customer leaves with my personal cell phone number and they call me back whenever they want to. And that's fine because that's what we do, So it's a hotline at first, but it can become a source of use. So.
Yeah. And I think that's awesome. I mean, and I'm amazed, Kyle, at how fast you did that.
Yeah, I used to be a phone system engineer. So before I moved into, actually while I was doing it at my last job. So I kind of had some of that background knowledge. And then now we're going back and upgrading our main system so that it won't run in my house after the new year. But but because I had some of that background knowledge, we were able to set this up really fast. And again, it's all about taking care of the customer. So we wanted to give that opportunity. So.
You know what? I'm so impressed right now. I can't wait to pitch IFS when we're in Polychem. I really cannot wait because this is really, a lot of times, when you're getting the showroom going and nobody can see my showroom right now because it's on the other side, it's behind the computer monitor, but I mean, this little showroom, trust me, I wanted a bigger one, but you know what? I'm happy with what I have. And I got my Polychem right here. I've got the brochures over there. And I'm just going to start showing that first because I really want to see who's going to pick that next color from you guys. I'm super stoked. And I know that you guys have my back. You know what I mean? So that's really cool for me to know that you guys have my back and that soon I'll be able to order anytime I need to, online and stuff like that.
And I think we made a deal since you're in Hawaii that they're going to let me bring over some supplies and deliver them.
Ooh.
Hey, how was I left out of that?
We've all argued about who gets to go to Hawaii to give you tech support. So
you would be the first. So you're the first on the podcast, and you'd be first walking through my showroom, because I've had other powder coaters from the States come over when they're on their Maui vacation. And I mean, like, you're on a vacation in Maui. What's the first thing you do as a powder coater? You go see another powder coater? What? But that's always the first question we ask them when they come in. You're like, what are you doing here? Get to the beach, But I think there's that curiosity of how we do things and what are you doing over here and how are you doing it over here kind of thing, So it's always great to meet a powder coater. But yes, you would actually be the first company to come and give us a sales call or a tech call for sure. And I'd love it.
I'm just going to say you never know, because I've had people in Maine tell me that nobody ever comes by, and I've driven there right into their shop. There's not a state that I haven't been in over the last 5 years. So
wow,
I haven't been.
You get around, Jason.
So, yeah, I'm an old road warrior. So
cool. So let's talk real quick about your side hobbies, what you guys like to do. Kyle, what's your project, your car project right now?
Oh yeah, so now we're talking. So
now we're talking.
It was funny when I first came onto IFS, and I came. It's kind of cool when you walk in the front door into the office. Right to the right is a huge window, and it looks right into our color lab. So you could see all the guys that are doing the formulation of our new products and everything. And the first time I came to the plant, I looked in that door and I was watching all this stuff. And the first thought that came to my mind is I go, if I wanted to powder coat my rims, I said, can I just come over here and talk to these guys? And like, I didn't know anything else about the company yet, or just what I had looked up online. So yeah, I'm a huge car guy, like you said in the opening. So I have an Alfa Romeo 4C that I go take to the track. So I've been all over the country with that car. I used to live up in the Midwest, so I've been to like Mid-Ohio and a bunch of tracks up in Michigan. And ever since moving down here to Texas, I've been to a couple different places. But I love that. And so one of the things I've been wanting to do is get a second set of wheels and tires for it, because it's still kind of on street tires, and I want to get some, some nice track slicks and everything. And so I was actually talking to a buddy of mine that knows somebody that knows a wheel company. And I said, okay, great. So I can go buy the wheels from him, and then I'm going to take them down here. And then, I was in the plant last week, and one of our guys ran over to me and he handed me the Open Throttle ring as well. So I would have it. And then, so I start looking through here going, if I get these new wheels, what color do I want to go with? So it's like, hey, anybody watching this wants to give me suggestions. What goes good with a red car? What would be best to go with red?
I'm digging the anthracite.
Oh, that's a great color.
I like this color. That was when I picked this up, I was just like, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, but you got some nice silvers in here too. That star silver. That's a really nice color too. I don't know if people can see.
That anthracite I've had in other locations, and it's a good looking color.
Yeah, it is.
It's multiple. It looks good on wheels. It looks good on outdoor patio furniture. It looks good, period.
Yeah. Here's that anthracite, auto anthracite. Oh, let me get it. It's kind of showing up kind of dark here, but there we go. There
it is.
Yeah, you just got to have the light catch it, but it's kind of like a charcoaly metallic.
Yeah, still got some gloss to it though. It's not.
No, it does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the red is nice. Obviously, this is that. So you have a couple of reds in here, actually.
Yeah, but that translucent red really jumps at you. It's really nice.
Okay, wait, I'm looking for that one. And here's the thing. Well, yeah, and that's kind of funny because like the way that you guys put it on the thing, I wouldn't have done it that way. Like I would have grouped them silvers and then reds and then, but you have them like you group them by the powder style, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's they'll look really great as I go spinning off the track when I miss a turn or something, screw up, because I inevitably will. But you know what? At least I'll look really good doing it.
Yeah, and you have that basic black. It's the nice black.
If that's the auto black, the auto black's a super good product. Flows out really nice.
It's got a nice sheen to it.
Yep.
Yeah. I like this. Yeah, this one too is kind of cool. It's got more of the. You can really see the flake in this one. Like, you know what I mean?
Is that even a gold flake, maybe, or not?
It kind of has a little bit of a gold, but it has it looks like it has a couple of different types of flake in it. Like it might have, because it seems like the gold flake is bigger than the background flake.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a couple of different sizes in there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives it that dimpled appeal,
You know what's kind of interesting, though, speaking of the flake and everything, so we, while we've been talking about, I keep going back to our e-commerce store, but we actually, Fiona had to go and meet with a bunch of different people to figure out how in the world do we represent on your computer screen a metallic. Like, how do we make that look really good? And we actually found this company that does these really great pictures of the metallics. And I had never seen anything like that. And so it was really cool because you kind of can get a feel of what it's going to really look like without actually looking at a physical ring, or if you haven't gotten yours yet.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting challenge for us to figure out.
Have you noticed that I noticed on commercials and stuff, and we have it on a lot of our graphics too, is that powder blast, those powder blast videos, or they're just little snippets, right? It's just like a little loopy snippet where it's got all these different colored powders and they're bursting, I guess powder burst. And there's one guy or two guys probably in the whole world that are really good at that. I imagine the guy that you'd be asking to do something like that, they're very good at what they do, right? I'm the guy that if you want to show a metallic on, I have the best equipment to show that metallic too, on whatever surface it is, whether it's a powder sample or a glass or something, whatever, you know what I mean? It's just there's somebody in the world that specializes in that.
I think we did a calendar one year of the blast of powder with all different colors and stuff. So
yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I do like this Caribou, H5 Caribou. That's kind of a neat, chocolatey.
It is a neat color.
Bronze, I guess.
I haven't seen it on anything, so I
haven't either, but that's an interesting color to how you could, I could see that on a rim, I really could. So, what I'm getting at is you guys really have put some forethought into what you've chosen here, that it's not just we'll just take these colors and put them on a brochure, and you've actually really taken the time that's actually a green. There we go. Having a hard time finding that's a pretty green and stuff. And I know that it seems like the silvers and the grays really aren't going away, and people are really digging those colors.
Yeah, I think that whole gray has picked up, and I don't think I was ever a gray fan, but to me, just a medium gray with a black wheel or something automobile is pretty darn good looking, on SUVs or cars, it doesn't matter. So, yeah.
When we did our survey to powder coaters and we produced that, this is back in 2019, I wanted to know from other custom coaters, what are the top colors that your customers are asking for? Because there's one thing when you do you're doing research and these people come up with all these colors and want to know, what's tomorrow's color, today, whatever kind of thing. But I wanted to know, what are the customers of these custom coaters picking? Because that's a totally different perspective. And for the most part, it was just basic colors like gray, silver, black, and white. The bottom line is the guy that's just coming to bring his BMW Mercedes, Acura, whatever, Toyota, Tundra. We get a lot of Toyotas over here, trucks and stuff. I mean, they seriously just want to make what their stock OEM look like or similar to that. You know what I mean? They're not looking to just throw out that crazy yellow neon, whatever, and that's great and all. It's great that we have colors like that to choose from when that guy comes. But for the most part, they just want like this, make it like this silver again. That's all I want, and I think that's not going to ever go away. I think just people extending the life of their cars and their finishes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Although I will say though, is that I'm a big sucker for green. So if I could find an application for like the neon green, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, trying to get as close as you can to stock colors on bikes and other like ATVs and stuff like that. That's really where you're gonna. So what's it like for the guy that does all these samples? Is this all he does all day long? Is just do a bunch of
all day long, but they do spend some time doing it because that's 32 colors. How many are stock catalogs? What, 108 or something, 130, something like that. So there's a lot of time and effort goes into that.
There is.
And I think they probably tie that in with our spray outs as batches are made anyway. So, you kind of kill two birds with one stone. You need to spray it out to see what it looks like. Let's put it on test panels, So.
And it's also really interesting to see. We have a whole room where we just keep things like this, and there's two women that work in there that are awesome, and they manage all of all the product catalogs and all the panels and everything. And it's really cool to walk in there because it's just the whole walls just covered in every color, all kinds of colors, and the rings and the panels. And all of a sudden, when I first saw that room, I was just kind of like, "Whoa, we make all this stuff!" And I was just like, "Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that." And just picking all that stuff up off the wall. But it's been a fun project for me because we actually had to develop an inventory system of all that, because we've been sending out so much stuff to customers or potential customers that we were running out.
Wow.
So I had to build some stuff into our system that would kind of alert different people that like, hey, we're running low on the Open Throttle brochure. You need to go get some more. And
that was like my first interaction with you guys. Because seriously, like we were just starting to get really busy, and I think you guys called us, to be honest with you. I didn't call you guys called us, and I don't know how you found us, but I thought that was just shocking because we were just the small time coder, just getting started. And I just, and you're like, can I send you a brochure, or can I send you some samples? I'm like, hell yeah. So it was kind of cool. I felt special. You guys make people feel special.
Well,
that's what you guys do.
And I think our group's just that way, because I know if I'm out and about and if I drive by your place by chance, I send that name to one of our inside salespeople and say, hey, is that somebody we do business with? And if it ain't, I guarantee you're going to get a phone call. So
yeah,
it's just what we do. I literally saw one today and called the guy. It's his territory, and I guarantee you this evening that person got a phone call. So it becomes a way of, if we're going to get new business, you got to go to it, So.
Cultivate leads. Yeah, definitely. And these guys are I'm telling you, it's just new guys starting up every day, every single day, but you guys are giving us the confidence to do so, In fact, I'd say if you're starting, up today, you guys should be one of the first coders should be the first, you guys should be the first people they call, before some of these other places.
Yeah. And we've got a wide range setup to assist people too. We have our sales group that's out and about all over the US and Mexico and up into Canada, but we have an inside sales group, that assists our outside sales group. Us tech service guys are in so many shops, it's not even funny, But we have a full customer service group that you can call in and not even have to deal with a salesperson, and get directly with them. So there's all kinds of ways to do business with us.
So Kyle, are you based in Texas now then? Or do you work from home?
So I'm in Texas, and up until COVID hit, I was in the facility every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just steps away from the powder, where the powder's coming off the line. And that was really my job, was to, I go out and I talk to people all day long in our company, and I say, why do you do it that way? And it's interesting for me, for somebody who's never made powder before, to go out there and say, why is it that done that way? Or why do we do it this way? And for a company like IFS that is, was a small company 10 years ago that has grown exponentially, there was a lot of there, even today, there's still some kind of growth things that we've had to work through. And it's been interesting to see how far we've come, and while still supporting, our roots.
Mm-hmm. And you're based Jason, are you based out of Texas, or you're kind of more?
No, I live in Southern Illinois.
That's right.
Right on the Kentucky border. Pretty much cover everything east of the Mississippi River.
Yeah. And
a few of those other great states on the other side. But
yeah,
we have Dave down located in Texas, and then Alex out by San Diego area.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're kind of spread out through there. But I think I told you the other day when we were talking, a bunch of our sales guys are really technical people.
Right.
They could be a tech service person on their own in a lot of places. So that's been the motto of IFS. They don't want somebody who's just a sales guy. They want somebody that knows the products, knows the business, and can be helpful.
Yeah, and actually, even speaking to that a little bit, we have our kind of internship program where we have our new sales guys. We just brought 2 on, but before they could go out and actually be a salesperson, they had to come and work at the plant, and they had to go through and do all kinds of different jobs. They had to do customer service. They had to do work in the lab. They had to see everything before they could ever go talk to a customer. So they got to see what was going to happen after their customer orders something. So it gives them quite a wide range of knowledge before they hit the road.
Yeah, I think, the 2 comments I have there is tech, from a tech point of view, when you do call tech, if you're having a problem in applicating a powder, or something's not acting like it should, or something's not right within your system, and you call tech, when we've called other powder coating companies, the first thing that comes out of their mouth sometimes just seems to be, well, you did it wrong. It's not our fault. You did it wrong. And I was like, okay, that may be true. That may not be true. I don't know, which is why I'm calling you in the first place. I don't want to get a pie in my face because, everything, that's what you're calling about. You're trying to figure out, like what went wrong, whether it's the powder or not. You say you followed the directions. And the last thing somebody wants to hear is, even if you've explained it and you've gone through your own methodology to say, okay, what did I do wrong? And that's the first thing custom coaters, the first thing they need that powder suppliers need to understand is, pretty sure custom coater is going to go through their own check system, right? You would guess, but I know new guys may not have that check system in place, but like, if you're a quality professional coater, you already have that either in your mind, or you've got a form that you have to fill out with your employer or whatever. And to know before you pick up that call to talk to you or whoever to text, so that you're not going to ask those stupid, dumb questions, or you're not having to answer them. And it's like, I think that's the last thing people want to hear is, well, you did it wrong. Like, okay, get that. Moving on, what else can I do to solve this problem?
It's like when you call your cable company when your internet doesn't work, they go, did you restart the modem? And it's like, yes, I did that already. That's the first thing I did. I'm calling you because that didn't work.
You have to do that in order to, like, I guess the point is to that, is you've already tried to troubleshoot it. You've turned the computer on and off or whatever. They don't want to call you. but obviously that first step didn't get it, didn't work. So resetting the system, that's what's leading to that call.
And I think our mentality is just to get it fixed, whether it's a person issue or a product issue or whatever, find the root cause and get it going, So I think we fit that mentality pretty good. So
yeah, it's awesome. Cool. Well, I'm stoked. Is there anything else? I think we've talked around. We covered it all.
Yeah,
we're the A team.
Yeah.
We answered all them questions we had. So awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure to talk to you guys today. And I'm so stoked again that you guys have been the first powder supplier to come on the show, because I think you were definitely an ideal candidate to come on the show, as because of this customer level of service that you guys offer, and tell us more about your company and this new line of the Open Throttle. I don't know why I have a hard time remembering that name personally, but it makes sense. That's the perfect name for this line, Open Throttle, because it is all about cars and car restoration and matching colors and stuff like that. So thanks again.
Well, thanks for having us, and we're glad we were the first, So
yeah,
thank you very much. It's been awesome to be here,
and that great news too. To close now, are you guys offering any promotions or anything right now, or what do you have?
So that is one thing. We talked about having the Facebook groups and YouTube things and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that we've seen through, I don't even know that it was our Facebook group, but of the ones we are on and myself are on, is, we get feedback through those. One of the things that some other companies do, they had much better shipping rates on small, 1 through 5 pounds and 5 through 10 and stuff like that. So I need to check if it's still going on, but the whole month of December, and I think most of November, we've been running shipping specials on Polychem type
Oh,
products.
okay. That's good to know.
So I'm not a sales guy, so excuse me for not knowing that, but
that's okay. I think being on those groups, and just to recap, that you are, the group that you guys run is Powder Coating Professionals.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll have the picture of the wheel like we talked about earlier. So.
Yeah, that's what's on the cover. And if you aren't subscribing to that channel, I highly recommend you do. I mean, a lot of us already are on there, but for those that are listening that don't, there is that other, it seems like they're popping up all over the place. And, there's UK guys now, or maybe that one's been around and I've just never been exposed to it.
And the thing about those Facebook pages, I think people get on there and think they can't say anything about another powder company or something. That's not what our page is about by any means. It's on there to help. So if it doesn't matter if you're talking about our powder or somebody else's powder, obviously we don't want any bashing of anybody on there, but
right.
It don't have to be an IFS topic to get on there and participate by any means.
Well, yeah, and just like anything, like whether you're on that group or tips and tricks or some of the other ones, the powder coating group, I mean, you just need to be on there active. You know what I mean? And I think that's when I first saw your name, Jason, I think you and I had a couple comments that and then of Chris Redding as well. I talked to him too. And that's the thing. It's just you have to be there every day. You have to answer questions every day. That's how people get to know you. So that's how you pick up customers too.
But there's a lot of people, and I've said this out loud, I'm not a sales guy on there. It's simply, if I've got an opinion that I think can help you or something I know, I'll respond. But we're not there to sell you IFS product, and we don't try to make it that way. So, we see what people are asking and see if we can help that in any way. But yeah, I'm on a lot of those, and I've made a bunch of great friends that I've never would have met if it wasn't for some of those pages. And some of them I respect because they do work that I can't do. Some of those custom shops just really turn out some great work. And those people, they will message me, I'll message them privately, and we talk about all kinds of stuff. They might not even buy from us, but it's a group, it's just a group of people you learn from and hopefully help you do better. So.
Yeah. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's just like, if you're going to say something or comment, just make it valuable, make it worth something, be positive, or, rather than bashing or name calling or whatever it is that a bunch of them do. But, just try to bring something to the table. Otherwise, just don't comment, but it is Facebook.
It is. You were right about that.
Love it or hate it, it is Facebook. But I actually enjoy being on the groups and stuff. I hope people don't get sick of our comment. I mean, we're just trying to share, we may not share our jobs all the time as much as we'd like to, but I've just been so busy with just getting out the directory is kind of new, and of course the podcast, and just promoting that has just been a full-time job. So, but again, it's been great having you guys.
Well, again, we appreciate it and appreciate you making the effort to put it out there. So
yeah, absolutely. Great being here.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, have a great day. Aloha. And we'll see you someday in Hawaii bringing me powder. Yeah, right.
I got to figure out how to get that flight expense before I get there.
I'll be right there with you.
I'll just put it on the IFS credit card.
Yeah.
It would get me there. It probably wouldn't get me back.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, that was a great podcast. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good to know you guys.